Hello people, and welcome back. If you have missed the last episode, we now have 2 villagers in our fishing house, which I am planning to breed and create myself some Fletchers. It will soon be time for some bigger projects, and I will definitely need some better equipment for them. To get better equipment, I will need to start trading with my villagers. I don't have too many of them yet, but I'm planning to fix that. I will also need emeralds. I believe that trading with Fletchers is the easiest way to gain emeralds. With the right trades, you can exchange sticks for emeralds, which is pretty easy. Majority of the tutorials out there will tell you to build a trading hall, which is a valid way of doing it. For the purpose of this video, we'll choose a different path. Rather than having our villagers trapped in a 2x1 box, we will have them placed as residents in their own houses. Which brings us to today's video, our Fletching House. It's not much to eat yet, but we'll do our best. I have prepared a couple of materials here. I am not sure exactly what I will need, but we'll work out this in due process. This is Tom. It spawned earlier on my map, and after running half an hour, we managed to turn him into a pet. To make space for this building, I moved my spruce forest further back. This forest was not here, and it's something that I've made by replanting saplings. Before I start my building, I want to bring everything up to the same level. Just like that. Note that in between these pillars there are 4 empty blocks. Next thing would be to connect them with planks and give ourselves an easy access way to our platform here. I will also want to increase the height of the rest of the pillars. We are up to something. This will be the face of my house. I want to see if I can come up with something decent before I carry on. This is what we came up with so far. It is not much to it, but it will do for now. It's enough to give us a start. I have used stripped spruce logs for my pillars, and then on my second line I've mixed in between stone and cobblestone. I've also drafted a fence. I will probably need some sort of fences later on, and I've drafted myself one here. Not sure if I like it, but it's definitely what I came up with at the moment. We'll improve it later on. Here we will definitely have a porch of sorts. Not sure exactly, but we'll work something out. Before that, I'm thinking to extend these 2 pillars and evolve my design into the roof. It looks like my pillars have continuity, and it gave me an idea about filling up the roof as well. Let's try to connect the porch to the main frame. My pillars are now connected. I am always going 4 blocks up in height. The interior doesn't look so great. Not yet at least. I've ended up stripping the rest of the pillars. Not quite happy with the result, but we'll go along and see how this plays out eventually. I want to connect these ones as well. Just like that. Make sure when you're filling up your walls that the pattern that you're using is completely random. It makes it look more natural. Let's see what we can come up with here on this level. I firstly extended a bit the roof to see what I am working with, then I filled up the rest of the space caused by my pillars from the same material. I've also added a beam on top of it, and now I will add the same type of roof that I've used for the rest of the building. I don't like that beam idea, not even a bit. I now moved out the roof with 1 block and the beam remained behind. I think it looks better. Let's see now what we could do with our porch. We will need some sort of roof here as well, and it has to go well with the rest of the building. And this is even better. I have removed the few stairs that I had here and replaced them with 2 spruce logs. It looks like it's more durable. It's now time to fill up the rest of the roof. We definitely have something going on. It looks quite interesting, although it's not ready and you can clearly see that we have only the face done with nothing behind it. It helps me design without having the need of removing or taking too many blocks off afterwards. As I've tried to explain on the starter house tutorial, focusing on one section of the house it's always better instead of building the whole lot of it from the start. You just focus on a segment of the house and you evolve that until you are happy with the results. I will go ahead now and fill in the rest of the roof here. That will do. Now the next step would be to fill this ceiling here. And I'm not quite sure if I should use stone or some other variant of wood that I already have in the building. Let's give it a try with stone and see how that plays out. Stone will probably do. I've used slabs to save myself some materials and filled in the top half of the block as I still want my trapdoors to pop out for more detail. Looks alright. This side of the wall though looks quite plain. Let's try something here. I have two options. Maybe use some more trapdoors, or I could extend these fences. The trapdoors are more elegant. We'll go ahead with the trapdoors. I think it's alright. I'm quite happy with my design. Now it's time to duplicate this into the rest of the walls. As you remember, we don't actually have a house yet. It's just more like an idea of it. We have to fix that. Let's fill in this wall first. I now filled in my two sides that were missing by randomly alternating in between bricks, cobblestone and stone. Also, I left myself two windows here, which I will try to fill in using this design. That should do. Let's remove this dirt from here. That's more like it. It feels like a room now. The last thing that we have to worry here would be everything else. There is not much to it, so let's start with the floor. I've randomly filled in the floor with planks, just like this. The next thing that I want to work on would be an access way towards my balcony there. For me to get an easy access way to my balcony, I will need to probably adjust a bit the stairs that I have here. Let's say I bring this out by one block. I think this will work. I just need to make it slightly wider and adjust the old stairs. Looks alright. Let's see if it works well with the rest of the ceiling. But to see that, we have to put the ceiling in place first.
2,000 years later.
Now with this done, the only thing that I'm concerned of would be the roof. And our roof is now in place. As I haven't used two different colors, I'm planning to add more texture to it using a different method. But first, let's see what we've done so far. Our balcony has been filled in now. Now it looks alright. The floor here looks decent, and we carried on the same design for windows that we came up with at the start. The stairs that will provide access either outside on our porch or on the first floor. Hello, hello. Quite a decent view from here. The last thing that we have to do up here as part of the main structure would be to fill in all this, which we can do right now. Definitely came up pretty well altogether. Now with the main structure done, it's time to add more details. As I mentioned earlier, we need to work a bit more on the roof. If you are planning to use the same material for the roof as I did, one way to make it a bit more special would be by changing some stairs into full blocks. Just like that, it breaks it a bit and it makes it more interesting, adds more detail to it. The next thing I want to look at would be the light around the house, as these torches are just temporary. I've added two here on the exterior, two inside, and we already had two here in front of the door. Let's look at the other sides now. That will do. And now at the back. And two at the back. The next thing that I want to do would be to bring in one of the 3 villagers that I already have. I want to do that during nighttime because it's easier. By placing a bed here and taking away the bed that the villager had, he will naturally look for the next one available. And there he is. I will now place his old bed further away from his house and take the one that he's currently using. By repeating this process a couple of times, he won't even realize when he moved away. Although the building is not ready, I want to move away the villager now, because I want to breed another one. And for me to do that, I will need my third bed here empty. Now these 2 villagers, assuming that they have enough food and an empty bed, they will breed again and create me a 4th villager. Also, what I want to do would be to place his workstation. As you can see, he's still a fisherman and it's still linked to one of the barrels there. At daytime, he will try to find his workplace, but now without access to his barrel, he will lose his old job and become a Fletcher. In the meantime, let's carry on. I want to make some practice targets for my Fletchers, for which I will need some bales. These practice targets are definitely not my design. I think I saw them somewhere. I I don't like the way they look inside. Let's change this. I've redone the practice targets here. I think it looks a bit better, but it's still something missing. Let's try to recreate that wall behind my targets. It definitely looks a bit better. I've just used a couple of oak logs and some slabs on the top, nothing too fancy, but definitely adds a bit of detail to it. Let's try one more magic trick for that corner, which will be some bone meal. Look at that beauty. Now this being done, let's carry on finishing our porch here. There is quite a lot to add. First thing that I want to add will be some armor stands. I want to use this to expose some leather armor. I think that goes well with Fletcher's. The next thing that I want to do would be to add some barrels here. Not only barrels, I will have a fletching table as well. I want some shelves and the yellow flower. The one thing that I don't have yet will be my leather armor. So let's go ahead and do some. I will want a tunic, a cap, pants and some boots. And there we have it, our armor stands. I could add more armors on them and I will probably do at some point. I think this is enough for now. And our Fletcher as well. Hello Mr. Fletcher, and now he is ready for his new career. 32 sticks for an emerald, that's the standard trade. If I would want his price to drop, I would have to turn him into a zombie and then heal him, but that would be another story. For now I'm happy with his standard price and we'll go ahead and trade some. And that will lock his trading options. This villager will now remain forever a Fletcher. Every time a villager levels up, he is unlocking new trades for you, and we will definitely cover all this in a separate video. For now, he seems pretty happy. I think he likes his new home. Let's make it even better. I will add more chests here. I will also add some barrels outside as well. That's our two doors. Need to make sure our villagers are not being bothered by any zombie. Not sure what's that, but we'll leave it there. I will also need 2 more beds in here. Me again. Few more details later, this is what I came up with. I think it fills the space quite well. Although we could probably add some more, I will leave it as it is. We have our first Fletcher in, with the trades already settled, so it's time to bring in the second one. We will be using the same technique. I will keep destroying the bed that he is claiming and forcing him to move towards a new one further away. Note that this can be done only during night. My only concern at this point is that he will wake up tomorrow and he will be more interested in the barrels rather than the fletching table. We'll have to box him off just to prevent any sort of issues. And while he decides what to do with his career, I made myself 2 cauldrons. One there and one here, just for design. My Fletcher is now ready, so we can release him as well. He wants emeralds for arrows, not the trade I was looking for. And now he wants sticks for emeralds, which is, as we said, the standard trade we were looking for. We will now lock the trade in by trading with him. And there we have it, 5 more emeralds, just for me, for a grand total of 20. And this will conclude our second floor as well. It's not much to it, but having so many types of wood, I think it looks detailed enough, and we'll leave it as it is. And our balcony. I was meant to add some arrows in these item frames. We'll leave it for some other time, because now time has come for some leaves. Always remember, your lightning rod is a house made of wood. And now, for the final touches, we'll bone meal some of this area and make sure we haven't missed much. Quite happy guys, quite happy. And this will conclude today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, consider pressing that like button and maybe subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one.